Hi and welcome to Rainy Day Crafting. Okay, today we're going to make an embossed card. So I'm using up I've got some envelopes that it's a bit thin. So I'm actually using up the card because we know waste not, want not and all that. The card I'm actually doing is going to be typically this size, okay, but you can do whatever card you like. The embossing folder I'm using is this, but you can use any embossing folder you have got. It's quite a nice design. As you'll see, it's raised that side and is it the correct word? Indented in that side. And what I'm going to do is basically, I'll show you a couple of ways. I'm going to pop one through just like this, which actually, rather than keep cutting it down, I can do it to one side. So what you then need is your main plates, because you need it thick enough to allow it to emboss, and your two, I keep turning these over so because they do tend to warp a little bit. Okay, so let's just, so when you pop this on here, or I forgot to say, I tend to spray this a little bit. Oh, I one from when I did it previously, a different color. So right, okay, I'll show you what I'm doing anyway. So have the base plate on there, that on there, that on there, and just wind it through. Okay, should be quite tight, and then wind it back. I sometimes spray it with water so it sort of picks up the indentations a bit easier, but let me just show you. And then I'm going to colour one, although this probably got a bit of colour on there. Can you see? It's really taken quite nicely. But on that same theory, I'm going to now put some colour on here. So let me just do that to one side. So again, I've got another piece there. And then with one of my distress oxides, I'm just going to do this broken china. Let me just move that to the side a minute. So all you do, whatever colour you choose, just pop it on there. Okay. So it'll sort of pick up quite nicely. There you go. That's simple. Then, without letting it move again, shut it. Put these back over here. Those two at the bottom. And one of those. Pop that in there. That on top. Hold it together. Wind it through. I tend to wind it back again. Okay. But as much as anything as well, it's easier for this camera, to be fair, as well. Right, now we'll put that out of the way because we don't need it anymore. Right. Now, look at that. Is that not gorgeous? Okay, it's missed a little bit there. You could, don't know how successful this is going to be fair. If I now do this scrappy bit here, because obviously it's the indented bit, so it might be able to do it, it might not. She's going to catch the other bits instead, but there you go. You could always, yeah, so that actually, can you sort of see, that's colour in the bits that are rising up. But I'm basically going to be taking the edge off this, so I don't think it really matters. So there we go, nice easy peasy effect. I'm going to leave that to dry a little bit before I cut it. So there we go. Now the next thing I'm going to show you, and what for cleaning purposes, all I use is a baby wipe on this, although you probably saw that other one I did that had left a bit of the colour still on it. So probably, although I'm using a white baby wipe now to get the worst of it off, I would put this under the sink, you know, some running water, so it gets in all the little nooks and crannies to clean that up. So I should put it to one side to do that later. Now I'll try and make sure I've not got any blue on my hands or something, because if not, that, you know what's going to happen, that's going to go all over the card. No, clean hands, good. Always be careful of that. Get your card, remember which side is going to go, because your generally make sure I open where it's going to go. You could, if you wanted to, literally just put the card in and emboss that, but it'll always give like a little bit of not necessarily a clean edge. So I tend to use another piece of card. Doesn't have to be over thick to do that in the first place, but nice colour, isn't it? So now with this is a Gemini, but you can put any sentiment you like. I mean, I'm actually going to do a sympathy card, and yeah, because I just had a friend recently lost her husband. Do you know what? It's a little bit annoying. I sent some cards to somebody because it's a friend in Corfu. One because she just moved into a new home, so I put two in an envelope, and then a sympathy card for her to take to back to Corfu. And basically they came out of the envelope, you know, because I put two in one together, save a little bit of postage to be fair, and neither card got to their destination, so it's a little bit annoying. I haven't got enough time now to send it back to her before she goes, but there you go. Anyway, less of that, back to the card making. Okay, so what I'd done earlier with this sort of scrappy piece of card, I think that's quite nice on there. Some people might think it's just too much, you know, the design, but I'm going to show you that too. And then these is just cut out. Really quite easy to do. So here's a bit of card. I'm just going to use my little machine. Where's it going to have gone? Oh, it's right beside me. Now there's me, can't see it. Okay. So that's drying anyway. That's there. This to fit into this properly, you just got to have that a bit smaller than it is. So I could get my cutters out, but I'm just going to cut it with a pair of, oh no, them scissors are no good. Hang on, get a much neater cut with the long scissors, don't you? Okay, so pop that on there. I've already done the edge. Could do it plain white. I don't know if I've got another white one around. So you put the cutting blade side down. This is just like a little tiny, this is a Sizzix, but there's plenty of other brands available. Then I would put a bit of old packaging on top of that. Make sure you've got it nice and central. Pop that on there, that on there. Shut this off. And again, I nearly always take these, you know, through and then back again on itself. Yeah. The only time I wouldn't do that is if I was cutting foam, because if you cut foam, it stretches, and so then it's no good for what you want. So this is possibly cut. Just be very ginger when you take it out. So there we have the sympathy, and remember, if it is stuck in there a little bit, little pokey tool. Don't have to buy a pokey tool if you're a dressmaker as well. A pin would do. Okay, there's my little dot as well, look. So there's the with sympathy. Not now sure if that colouring, I have to remember which way around it goes. Those will stick on there. Just position them where they're going to go. And this I just want to cut down a little bit. I think it's dry enough to do. So move these out of the way. So we'll pop this in here. Line this up. Right, hold it nice and firm, and that will cut. Just took a bit off that way. turn it round. A little bit there. Do it quite quickly because you've just done the embossing, it can tear otherwise. So always make your cuts nice and quick once you know you've lined it up happily. I think if we then place that on there, lovely. Okay, so that's there. Keep these little bits because you can always print some other sentiments and things on there. Now with this, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can literally just pop your glue on there, stick it down, or there is this on the market, which I think is rather good. It's called Sticky Specs. I tend to do not all of it because you find it then gets so sticky, it's hard to maneuver, and you can end up, because it is quite sticky, it's hard. As you can see, you can end up, oop, stuck to my fingers now. Place it where it's going to go. So you get, right, can you see that's nicely in its space. Let me just show you this stuff. This is it, Sticky Specs. You get it off Amazon. I've have bought it in the past. On this is only the second one I've ever bought, and I've been doing cards for quite a number of years really. But this is 8 sheets of A5, and I just cut a piece off, put the rest back, and just keep using it really till it loses its sticky, because it's quite sticky to start with. Okay, you can see I've got the odd bit of glitter or whatever there. Pop it on there. Be ginger how you pull that off, because if not, you know, they're not over big, it could rip. Same principle with the other word. Can you see it's quite sticky, so you have to be a little bit careful with it. Position where it's going to go. This is a little bit harder with the camera. So that's already done there nicely. Then what I would do is just tuck that under there. Yeah. Again, gingerly. Don't rip. You think sometimes you end up getting some of the little sticky bits on your fingers. I don't know about you, as much as I love the craft and I don't like, oops, that hasn't caught. It will allow you to reposition it a little bit, because you can see that's not quite there. A little bit under there, under the base. Oops. Right, I would place something heavy on there to make sure it's then exactly where it needs to be. Okay, so we don't stick it there. There you go. This card is nearly done. Oh, my hands are a bit sticky now. Bear with. Got a little grandson. I've got a granddaughter as well, but I've got a little grandson that's sort of still in nappies and things. So I've always got baby wipes around, and they are so handy, aren't they? Failing that, have a sticky cloth maybe. Okay, so now this is going to go onto here, and that is going to go onto there, which I don't know what your thoughts are. It's enough. You don't necessarily need lots and lots of things. Don't forget to pop the little, I don't know where my little nought's gone, my little dot's gone, which has just got to go. Oh, I think it's glued up. Okay, it's not one to play ball. Right, how I then now tend to stick this down is some of this double-sided tape, whatever you've got. I'm not going to particularly raise it up because you don't need to. You've got to think sometimes now, where those cards I posted, they just went through as a large letter, although they never got to the recipient, which is a bit of a shame. But obviously if you have too much embellishment, it's basically going to cost you more to post, isn't it? Because it's too thick. You know, they put them through these like little letterbox things, don't they? Anyway, so there we go. Double-sided tape. And you can put some glue in between as well. I think that's the one thing. You don't want to be that your recipient, as long as they get the cards, that what you've made them doesn't all fall off. Because that'd be irritating, wouldn't it? It'd be embarrassing too, wouldn't it? Anyway, here we go. Line it up on your card. I want you to give it just a nice little edge all the way around. And again, that's that. And then again with this, you could pop it with some tape on the back. I think I've probably said this a million times, but I always have a pair of sticky scissors to save getting all your scissors sticky, because, you know, you want to then cut something else out, fussy cut or something, you find that if you use too many pairs of scissors, they, you know, you just have to spend your time then sorting them all out to keep them sort of clean. But if you just have one pair that you keep for this. Right, line up where it's going to go. I tend to do most things by eye. Pop down, and like I said, I'll always put something heavy on it. Generally, oh, must be a bit of glue on there to hold that there. In a minute or two, I'll have to do the eye. So there you go, another card using the embossing folder. I have got some more that I've made earlier because I tend to do a few, all on the same principle. These are sort of 3 different colours. That one is literally just white embossed, then with some yellow colouring. That's dark blue embossed with some white white with sympathy. And this one's just a scrappy bit of paper card that I'd got and popped through the embossing. I don't know how well you can sort of see that. But yeah, so there you go. I have got a rainy day crafting page on Facebook. Find that if you like. It's Rainy, R-A-N-E-Y. Come along. And if you like this, subscribe so you don't miss any. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.